bank holiday weekend in Germany, and this lot are ready to party. We're ready for some darts as well. Our MC is John McDonald.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the second round action of the PDC World Cup of Darts, coming to you live on Sky Sports from the beautiful city of Hamburg, Germany. So brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation, and a very warm welcome to the millions of viewers joining us around the world. It's time now to meet the teams. Ladies and gentlemen, Japan play Northern Ireland. Would you please welcome, representing Team Japan, Morihiro Hashimoto and Muramatsu. And for Northern Ireland, it's Michael Mansell and Brendan Dolan.
Kick things off. Mickey Mansell and Brendan Dolan, Muramatsu, Morihiro Hashimoto. This is the format, second round, quarterfinals and semi-finals all the same. It's two singles matches and a doubles match if needed to decide the tie. It's a mega short format as well, best of just 7 legs. The finalists held 4 best of 7 singles matches. If it's 2-2, best of 7 legs doubles to decide the outcome of the World Cup. This is the format then, 2 singles matches, Michael Mansell against Muramatsu, and then Brendan Dolan against Hashimoto, and then it will be a doubles match if needed, if it's one apiece. Let's get the first match of the second round up running then. Stuart Pike and Rod Harrington, your commentators.
Yes, thank you, Dave. A good audience in here this afternoon to witness the first game of round 2 of the BWin World Cup here in Hamburg, and what a game to start off. Mickey Mansell against Muramatsu. And Stu, with these games, I mean, the Irish played really well yesterday. All 5 of their legs were under 15 darts, and the other 2, they let them off. But the other team, I mean, you can't write them off. And if we go to 1-all, if they can get one of those singles, anything can happen in that doubles. And a lot of these teams today are just hoping that they can get one of those legs to go to the doubles. And as Wayne said in the top of the show, anything can happen.
Well, that's the key, isn't it, for the lesser nations, the unseeded nations, the unfancied nations. Nick one of the singles, then anything is possible. Wayne reckons that the USA have a real chance against England. If they play the Americans like they did yesterday, they have. So, day 2 in Hamburg underway, with Muramatsu against Mansell, and then Brendan Dolan against our old friend Mr. Hashimoto in the singles. We have a first of 4 across the day in singles and, if necessary, in the pairs. But Ireland, I agree, they were brilliant. I think they have 4 180s, 158 finish, I remember, from Brendan Dolan. Best of the tournament so far.
Here's a good question for you, Stu. If you was playing here today, what would you have? Your strongest player going on first, or would you have him coming on second? I know that I would always have the strongest player going on first. Get that match on the board, put the pressure on your opponents. But I think what we'll see over the course of the day, perhaps the strongest player in some teams will go second.
140 will do from Mickey Mansell. Yeah, I totally agree that the strongest player should go first, but in so many of the pairings, who do you decide is the strongest player? I mean, Van Gerwen and Van Barneveld, Lewis and Taylor, Wright and Thornton. But it's interesting, later on tonight, talking about England-USA, it will be Taylor against Darren Young, Lewis against Butler, Netherlands against Spain, Van Gerwen is in first against Alcinas, then Barneveld against Rodriguez, so...
Well, that's a perfect dart from Muramatsu. You'd expect him to fire it up with another one to get himself back in this leg. Well, gives him a little bit of a lead, but a good, strong ton or ton 40 should see Mansell have the first dart at the double. Well, he needs to just pitch that over the top of that. The flight is a good marker, although it's sticking up a little bit. Needs to over-pitch it a touch. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Although the first dart looked a bit of a hiding dart, he just pitched it over the top. Mansell will return. Should get at least one dart at double top to get the first leg on the board. And it'll just settle him down a bit, Stu, just to hit that first double, get the first leg on the board.
Against the throw as well. Mickey Mansell should get at least one dart. Well, it looks like it may only be the ball, not what he wanted.
55.
Should have had at least a dart at tops.
Little mistakes over the short distance can cost you large. Number 16, although it's just to hold on to his throw, it's just the confidence that it will give this young man. Double top, it is for Muramatsu. A brilliant 76 shot out, and that one little mistake from Mansell, Stu, you know, could cost him some work to do for the Irish.
Well, pressure straight away is on Mickey Mansell. Japan rode their luck, and how, in the first round on Friday, beating Canada in a last leg decider. The Canadians missing 7 match darts, 1 in one leg, and then Narain and John Parr had 6 darts between them at tops, missed the lot.
60.
And the Japanese pinched it.
Well, those 3 darts that Big John chucked at the double top, I mean, you could not put them any closer without putting one in the double. So he'll feel that he didn't do a lot wrong, but they still didn't go in, and they're on the way home, which is a real disappointment in any tournament. But representing your country, that extra pressure that you want to do well is always there.
You know, you talk about experience on the big stage, and in many ways Muramatsu possibly has more than Mickey Mansell. I mean, he's played in 3 World Championships, and he's played in the big darts live soft tip events, you know, across Asia, and you know, he has more experience, I feel, of the big crowd and the big atmosphere.
140.
Yeah, I agree on the big stage, but Mickey Mansell played the tour and all our Euro events, so he's around all the big pros all the time. So, and he's playing alongside Brendan Dolan, as we see 2 in for Muramatsu. Oh, that was a well-thrown dart. And I think that's the advantage that the Irish will have, that Brendan Dolan can just put his hand on the shoulder of Mickey Mansell and say, right, come on, we're going to do this today.
60.
For Northern Ireland, the number 6 seeds. The winners of this, by the way, will play either Scotland or Sweden in the quarterfinals on Sunday afternoon. That match later on tonight.
34.
Good atmosphere and good crowd here at the Sportshalle in Hamburg. Become the home, hasn't it, of the World Cup.
60.
Well, Mansell scored really well in the first leg, but messed up checking out. And since then, he's been a little bit indifferent, a little bit of frustration and pressure coming on. Nice little ton will give Muramatsu perhaps a dart. Well, he may get a dart on the bullseye if he returns. This is the big ask for Mansell. But what he's got to do, he's got to set it up. Can't afford another visit without a treble. Well, he's got that. The treble 18 now will give him the ball. Set it up perfectly.
Could be a crucial visit for Mickey Mansell there. Left double 13, but he's left to finish. And that's all that matters. 122 for Muramatsu. So Mansell will be back. Well, Feely missed a trick in the opening leg, Mansell. Left himself 80, but ended up only having a dart at the ball. Can't afford too many mistakes from here on in.
63.
So double 13 for 1-1, race to 4 to get a point on the board in this second round match.
Well, I think he meant to do that. That's too far away to be a miss. So if he gets this, and he's missed the double again. Yeah, the 6 was to break it down to the 10s. That was too far away, as I said, to be a miss. But now 2 darts to break the throw of Mickey Mansell and the Irish. Hit it first dart last time. Now he's down to the 10s.
49.
Big relief for Mansell. I'm sure they're watching Brendan Dolan too. Yeah, good dart, good aggressive dart from Mansell. Holds throw, levels it up. Could be important. Could be very important. Muramatsu again had his chance.
Well, he thought it was in. Just about to turn around and acknowledge the crowd, and he just says a little apology. Well, I wouldn't apologise, because that 140 is an extremely good score to start a leg off. But he could be 2-0 up still, and 2-0 up in a game as short as this. Blimey, that is such an advantage.
Well, played in 3 World Championships and actually won 3 games. Won all his preliminary round games at the Ali Pali. Muramatsu ended up losing in the first round to Baxter, Taylor and Whitlock, so he had tough draws. But there's no doubt that Muramatsu and Hashimoto, the 2 best players in Japan, obviously that's why they're here, and they will be contesting very closely the qualifier for the next World Championship, I'm sure.
Well, chance here for Mansell. Needs to find at least a ton. A 140 gives him control in the leg. Needs to find a treble with the first dart. Although that's low, that's not a bad marker for Mickey Mansell. Oh, as you can see, that squeeze it between the 2 flights. He's got to go in the treble, and that's what he exactly does.
He's losing the range a little, hasn't he, in this leg? May switch here.
24. Northern Ireland will require 161.
Well, 6 darts from 161 to take control of this opening match.
Well, he had a look at the scoreboard when he walked past there, a double check. I think he just miscounted there, because 25 would have been a good route to go, but certainly the 140 to leave 41 weren't the right way to go. But he's where he is in the very first leg of the match, and he had a treble 5 with his first dart. So we say it so many times, don't miss the big number. Well, he hasn't this time. Double 10 to break the throw of the Japanese, chasing it up to the 5s.
75. Japan will require 96.
Could easily be 3-0 up, Mansell. Needs the treble. So 1 for double 2 for Mickey Mansell.
56. Northern Ireland require 5.
Key moments in this opening game. All round the board he goes.
Game's on.
But he gets there in the end. Double one. What an important double that is.
Game on.
Well, in their pairs match, when they beat Malaysia 5-2, it was 2 legs all. The Irish missed doubles terribly in 2 of those legs. 6 darts in each leg to go 2 all. Then they got it together. And it seems like Mansell here, he's having a little bit of the double nerves. And Muramatsu, he went through 6 great darts in that leg, and you find that with a lot of the inexperienced players that haven't on the tour all the time, don't harden up to the professional game. They can throw 6 great darts in a leg, and back home that may be enough, but in this, as I say that, Muramatsu puts the first maximum on the board. But as I was saying, Stu, you know, the experience of pushing it from 6 great darts to 9 great darts in the leg and then closing them out, that's where the big boys are so good.
100.
Well, advantage Japan in this 4th leg. Still to come, Brendan Dolan against Hashimoto. Well, both nations have reached the quarterfinals of the World Cup. Northern Ireland 2 years ago lost to Netherlands. Japan reached the quarterfinals last year,
60.
eventually beaten by England.
Well, again, Muramatsu's kicked off with 6 absolutely brilliant darts in this leg. It's missed the treble. Interesting to see what the next 3 darts are like. He's got a big lead on Mansell. 140 really does put him back in it. Muramatsu puts him in front. Puts him back in the leg now. 6 very important darts for Muramatsu.
I
think he was caught in 2 minds of what to do with the last dart. And Muramatsu started the leg with a 180. And Mansell has got himself back in it brilliantly. Treble 19 would leave double 12. Well, that's unlucky. 74 left. I think he's looking at treble 14.
81. And you require 109.
Well, started the leg with a maximum. Can he finish it with a ton plus finish? Well, 3 brilliant darts to start the leg and not a lot after.
28.
Well, he followed that maximum up with a ton, Stu, and as I said, another 6 great darts in the leg, but the rest have gone wanting, and he's given Mansell now a chance to hold on to his throw. Well, that was nearly in the treble, but being that far low gives him the open target of double top, and Mickey Mansell takes the Irish 3 legs to 1 up.
Game on.
And on the verge of putting 1 point on the board, and his partner Brendan Dolan coming up with the throw against Hashimoto. A bit of an edgy start on the doubles, but certainly Mansell now in control.
Well, straight away, Mansell in control of this leg.
60.
No range, no rhythm for Muramatsu.
It's the consistency. That's what we tell everybody. You know, that's why the Taylors, the Barnvelds, the Van Gerwens, they're all that good because of their consistency. They don't just hit two great sets of darts in a leg. They hit 3 and 4. And that's why they consistently go out in under 15 darts. It is that match practice against top-class players all the time that hardens you up to the game. No different in any other sport.
Back-to-back 140s from Mansell.
85.
Good last dart. Well, it's his to lose from here. Closing in on a crucial point for Northern Ireland as they look for a place in the quarterfinals of this World Cup.
140.
Well, you'd think Mansell will probably get 6 darts from 136, but he'll be thinking 3. It's going to be 6 now. That's opening up for a triple 20. Well, this is where things can turn, Stu. A big score here, if he doesn't take it out, of course, puts him back in the game. If Mansell's coming back with only 1 dart and a double, perhaps.
Yeah, good darts, that's pressure. Muramatsu won the opening leg of this match with a 76 checkout. Can Mansell follow suit to win the match? Wow, that's a really, really poor dart. Incredible, incredible. That's just pressure. He hasn't even got a shot at the bull from 76 out. I did say it was his to lose from here on in. He may well lose this leg.
105 set it up perfectly from Muramatsu. That's a good guide. Very good guide. There's 2 good guides. If he hits the barrel of that dart, this will bounce in.
18.
Oh, you can see the anguish on his face. He's let it go. Mansell returns to the board for that all-important first point for Northern Ireland.
For the match. Good dart in the end. So Mickey Mansell gets that all-important first win for Northern Ireland. Could be a crucial, crucial victory as they chase a place in the quarterfinals. And the man who'll be trying to secure that place in the last 8 is coming up very soon. The history maker, Brendan Dolan. Very, very long odds on Hashimoto winning this. Here he is. They call him the Ogre. 2 World Championship appearances. Well, that's 5 World Championships. 3 from his friend and teammate Muramatsu, and a couple for Hashimoto. Crowd love him in London. The 140. 100, 140.
Well, certainly Brendan Dolan has moved up those rankings. He's consistent play over the last 3 years. On the Pro Tour rankings, he's well inside that top 8. Well, he wants double 18 for a 12 dart leg, just on the outside. That would have been a real good pressure leg. And now a lot of work
for this. Hugely improved over the last 18 months. close to breaking into the world's top 10. You mentioned that on the Pro Tour, the events away from the TV, number 2. He is the second best player on the floor. And here he is looking at double 18. Never in doubt. It took him a while to win his first big PDC ranking event, but he's won 4 in the last 6 months, Brendan Dolan. I think we mentioned, didn't we, on commentary yesterday, you asked the top pros who they'd like to avoid. Dolan's name would be up near the top of the list, if not on top of it.
Reminds me of a Dennis Priestley in a way. I mean, I think Dennis was a better player, but Brendan obviously can still improve. But because of that pace, you forget actually how good they are. And you stand behind them and the pace just upsets your pace a little bit. And all of a sudden you start to think too much when you're standing behind him, and they're going up there, ton 40 ton, and it does wear you down in the end. And this is what Brendan has done to so many players. He really has got a good consistency about him now.
Excellent. 4 140s already from Brendan Dolan. He'd have his big breakthrough moment, didn't he, with the 9-darter at Dublin and getting through to the World Grand Prix final, and he's kicked on superbly.
Well, I spoke to him on the Saturday before the Grand Prix started. We had a tour event, 2 tour events at the City West in Dublin, and he said, if I don't do well this week, I'm packing up and going back to work. How ironic is that? He made the final and lost to Phil Taylor, did the 9-darter, and he hasn't looked back since. It just shows you that you just keep knuckling down, keep your head down, give yourself the chances, and sometimes it works.
The reward for hard work.
100.
Yes, I'm afraid you're right, Stuart. Nothing ever comes easy, and I think a lot of players think that it does, and that the game owes them something. I'm afraid it doesn't. If you don't work hard, you go out of the rankings.
60.
Well, Muramatsu, the Ali Pali, beat Paul Lim before losing to Michael Smith, who of course went on to beat Phil Taylor 6 months ago. 104 for Dolan for 2-0. That's a great dart. Double 16. Well, those 3 darts show perfectly why Brendan Dolan is closing in on the top 10 in the world. That was class.
Well, that double 16 was dead centre. And that is the confidence. 107 average, Brendan Dolan, at the moment. I just brought it down to just over 104 with this. But a bad score now. I mean, he was even annoyed with 100 there. That's the expectation he has on himself. You know, he's only 2-0 up. He's hit 4 140s and 3 tons. That doesn't leave a lot of scoring in between, does it?
Five 140s in 3 legs.
Well, there we have it. Pushing 110 averages, Dolan. Muramatsu is being taught a lesson at the moment by the Northern Irish guy. And he doesn't rush himself, does he? And he flicks that dart on release. Normally people would switch from there, but he tries to just pitch it over the flights, and you can see it over-pitched it. Give it too much air.
I actually think Dolan is throwing a little quicker than he did a year or so ago, especially after releasing the first dart. The other 2 follow quicker than certainly he was.
may throw his second and third dart a little bit quicker, but he doesn't rush himself to the oche. Make sure his foot's set right, make sure the body's set, the balance is right. Not a bad score. He shakes his head at an 85. We'd be over the moon with an 85, and so would a lot of people watching.
Frustrating for Hashimoto. So far being outscored and outplayed by Brendan Dolan.
123. Well, you require 160.
104 to win the last leg.
Well, that was an unusually bad dart from Dolan. Looking at the 419s for double top.
And you require 78.
Possibly leaves himself 2 darts at a double when he returns with the 25. But Hashimoto now looking at the 18s. 20 for tops. And if he hits this double top, it keeps him in the game and it should settle him down a bit.
58.
Opens the door for Brendan Dolan. Now the one thing about this 25, you don't look at the 25, you always look at the bullseye. And the times you see people hit the bullseye, well, he hasn't even hit the 25.
Well, he went for double-double. He's made a mess of that. Well, say from 116, Dolan could lose the leg here. This would be a break back as well for Hashimoto.
Yeah,
good dart. Errors from Brendan Dolan. Hashimoto stepping in.
Well, as well as Brendan Dolan has been playing, it took him 6 darts from 116 without a dart at a double. And that would have been for 3-0, and from 3-0 you're not going to lose. You shouldn't lose, not with the experience of this man, but what he's done, he's let Hashimoto really back in this game, and Japan back in the match. Strong leg with his throw. The pressure goes on the Irish.
And more so because they're expected to win well. Dolan, one of those players who never looks at his opponent throwing. He goes behind, head looking to the floor, waits for the ref score, and then gets on with it.
Well, Dolan's average at one time was pushing 110. He's now on 93. His form has come off the top. It opens the door for this fella to get his country back in this match. And Dolan's now got to compose himself. He needs to find the treble with the first dart, get some confidence back.
All right, on cue. We'll have to switch now. No way through.
99.
Well, nicely done. Hashimoto leaving a finish. Has to stay there to leave a finish of his own. Needs the treble.
100.
Good last start.
And you require 156.
Important leg. Ireland lead 1-0, courtesy of Mansell's 4-1 win over Muramatsu. Oh, that's unlucky.
I like the 25 with that last dart, Stu. It would have left him 59 instead of the 62, so he would have been coming back, guaranteeing himself 2 darts at a double instead of the 1. Admittedly, if he hits the treble 10, he's still going to get the 2 darts at the double, but the percentage was there for that last dart to go for the 25. So let's see if he can hit the treble 10. This is to level it up.
So one dart. Oh. Well, that wasn't in the equation. Double six it is. Oh, unlucky.
56.
On the wire.
Northern Ireland require 52.
Not to go within one leg of a place in the quarterfinals of the World Cup of Darts. Brendan Dolan looking at double 16. Wow, good dart. The first dart was the perfect mark of the way that Dolan throws.
Northern Ireland to throw first. Game on.
Dolan now, darts in hand, looking for the winning leg to take his country into the World Cup quarterfinals here in Hamburg.
Well, that first dart was perfect. He's followed it up.
35.
When you need a leg to win the match, make sure throw first. Anything ton plus is extremely good. It puts that extra pressure on your opponent. And how the match could have been so different. Hashimoto hit the double six, and it was right on the wire. But what isn't in doesn't count.
Well, it looks like Northern Ireland will be playing either Scotland or Sweden in the quarterfinals here on Sunday afternoon. Have his chances.
85.
Mr. Hashimoto.
Well, in the first game, Stuart, Muramatsu had a few chances at doubles in the early part of the game to frighten Mickey Mansell, and Mansell come through that to get the 1 point on the board.
49.
So it was a little scare here for Brendan Dolan, but looks like he's come through it.
Another big treble here.
85.
Well, Dolan will be telling himself 6 darts. Worst possible lie. Is he going to switch? That's a good dart.
100.
Well, that's all he needs. He's probably going to get 6 darts from 117. No, he had 6 darts from 116 earlier on. And now I had a dart on a double. Hashimoto needs another one of those, which he gets. So it does leave him on a shot, and this will be for the match. And to put Ireland through to the quarterfinals, he's already taken out 104. Needs the treble 19 for tops.
57.
Well, this possibly will be the best shot out that Hashimoto has ever done on TV if he takes this.
Now then, treble 17. We went for treble 19. Rod Harrington shaking his head in disbelief in the commentary box. But we know what Dolan's going to go for. As Ireland now looking for a place in the quarterfinals. Long way off.
20. Japan, you require.
They were miles away, weren't they? I mean, they were a good inch away from the target. And you can see Brendan Dolan's face. He's going, I can't believe I overpitched him that much. They were a long way off. That is not a long way off. He needs to come down as that dart masked it. Well, he's got to come to the right-hand side. He can only see the right hand. There we have it, an inch of the right-hand side. Oh, and that's a brilliant dart from Hashimoto. Keeps him and Japan in the game. And Brendan Dolan, will that affect him, Stu? I mean, 2 darts at double top. And there we have it, Brendan thinking, I should be walking off the stage. I know what you're saying, Brendan. I've been there so many times.
Well, just got to refocus, hasn't he? 26, called by Russ Bray, will be music to the ears of Brendan Dolan. Good dance. That's a way to hit back after you just missed 2 for the match. Still 1 leg away.
And that's a sign of a player that's in the right place in his own head. His mindset is very good. He did it yesterday in his match. In the 4th leg, they missed loads of doubles and let their opponents in, and he kicked the 5th leg off with a maximum. It's a sign, as I said, of a player in the right place.
100.
Well, 100 is enough at the moment. Mansell 4, Muramatsu 1. Dolan looking to wrap it up here.
85.
A lot of 85s from Hashimoto in this match. He's making such a good start, he'll be disappointed, Dolan, I'm sure. Well, hit 5 140s, Brendan Dolan. Muramatsu looks at a maximum. In the first 2.5 legs, he's only hit 1 since. And that has been Dolan's problem.
Well, certainly put him back in the leg. Pressure. Oh, you can see Brendan, he can't understand what's going on. The first 6 darts of the leg were absolutely brilliant. Kicked off at 140 in the ton. Sneaked the treble 20 there to really help himself out. And another 140 from Hashimoto. Wasn't going to do that. Now he needs a treble to leave a check out. Otherwise, Dolan will get 6 darts from 106.
45. Northern Ireland require 106.
The treble 18, the shot. Double 16. For a place in the quarterfinals of the World Cup of Darts. A second ton plus finish from Brendan Dolan. He made it tough for himself.